how do we know if we're hearing God's voice? Just answer this question real quick.
Yep.
God's voice always starts with love, because God is love.
Yep.
God's voice doesn't start with a shout. It doesn't start with anger. His anger has passed away anyway, because he put all his wrath on Jesus. But my point is that when Jesus came up out of the waters of baptism, the first thing that we hear God saying to him was, "You are my dearly loved son.
Yeah.
You are my beloved son." So the voice, we don't ever hear the voice of God prior to that in the Gospels. That's the first time we hear God's voice. And what is he saying to Jesus? He doesn't say, "Here's the plan, son. We're going to do this for 3 years, and I want you to go to this city, and I want you to go to this area, and I want you to grab these disciples, and He didn't say, "Here's the plan." God's voice was not, "Here's the plan, here's the strategy." God's voice wasn't, "Here's the job you should do," or "Here's the person you should marry," or "Here's the house you should live in." God's voice is not about those things. Those are choices that God gave us the power and the privilege to make those choices.
Right.
But what God was saying to Jesus wasn't, "Here's the strategy, son." God said to Jesus, "You're my beloved son. I love you."
Yeah.
Mark 1:11, he says, "You are my dearly loved son, and you bring me great joy." That's simplicity. You are my dearly loved son, and you bring me great joy. That is what I'm after in my relationship with God. I want to hear his voice of love, because if his message to Jesus was, "I love you, son," and he's supposed to die for the sins of mankind, and he's supposed to preach the gospel everywhere and heal everywhere and do good everywhere he goes, he's saying the same thing to me. As he is, so are we in this world, the Bible says. So whatever God's saying to Jesus, he's saying to you and to me and to you guys that are watching.
Really good.
And so his voice is always a voice of love that brings calm. It doesn't bring hurried activity and rush. It brings calm.